Hey guys, how's it going? You guys can totally skip this if you want and just go straight to the podcast. I just wanted to record this beforehand just to let you guys know that this podcast was actually recorded back in August of 2020. So there are some references in there to like TikTok and YouTube haiku on Reddit that are probably not as like up to date as they were back then. But everything in here is just really cool and really great, especially if you want to like explore making videos or going into creating. It's incredibly insightful, and that's partly why I made this for other people to start to get into it and hopefully inspire them in some way. And it was really a privilege to have David Elliott on here, and I really hope you guys enjoy. All right, so I think we got it. I think we are recording. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 1. Uno. I'm very thrilled today to have our first guest, internet superstar, David Elliott.
Glad to be here, man. Thanks so much. New to the podcast game, so this might be a little bumpy. You'll have to guide me through with your wisdom and whatnot.
I'm brand new to this too, so we'll be guiding each other.
How do I know you? How do you know me? How do I know you? It's honestly, I'm not even too sure, honestly.
Yeah, no. Well, I know you. I saw your videos, like on YouTube haiku, and I dug them. And I was at UT Austin, and I think I messaged you, and I was asking about like because I thought you were in, like maybe an RTF down there, and I think I was asking about like the TV station and whatnot and all that.
So you said that you were at UT, but I think I had just graduated at that point. And so I was like, I don't know, man. But no, actually, I was in history, so I got this. If you want to be good at YouTube, you got to get the history degree. Yeah. But are you still doing RTF?
Yeah, what happened was really kind of weird because I was in community college for a while, and I was studying, they didn't really have a film degree, so I was just doing like production classes. And I'm like, oh man, I wonder what's a good film program I can try to get into. It's like, oh, RTF. And so I got into it. I never thought I would get into it because apparently it's a really difficult, like if you're out of state, it's really, because I'm from California originally, it's really difficult to get into that. And I was just like, oh man, I really want to go now, but it was so expensive. But I guess I just kind of like somehow just was like, nah, it's okay. I'll just take out some loans and, And so I went down to Austin, and I started the program, and I think I did some of the like extracurricular like television station there and whatnot, and I just got
You joined the whatever?
The TSTV, I think it is.
Yeah. So were you in a couple of those like sketches or whatever that they do, or were you behind the camera, or what was the deal?
I did. Well, so this is the funny part. Like I did like one day of that. It was, what was it called? It was one of their like Saturday Night Live style. What's it called? I don't even remember the name of it. But yeah, I was there for one day. I wasn't even acting on camera. Like I was in the studio or whatever.
Oh.
And yeah, I did want to actually get in front of the camera. But what happened was I totally got cold feet. And I looked at my tuition bill, and it was like, I think for the semester alone, it was $24,000. And I just was like, you know what? Nah, I can't. Like, I don't know. I just bailed. I totally bailed out of there before anything got too stacked up. And that's why I was asking you. I'm like, I figured you were in the program. So I'm like, well, I wonder what he thinks if he's in there, so if it's worth the money.
I totally would have. I guess I should elaborate on what this is. It's just the university has like its own TV channel sort of thing. And if you want to, you can make sketches and they air on it. I don't know where they air. Do they air on like their webpage or something like that? Or
I think they have a local, like they have a channel they air on too, but I don't think a lot of people watch all of it at all.
I think the people watching it are the people that are in it, but
yeah, exactly.
But I only knew that was a thing my senior year because so my minor, so I'm history major, super useful, theater minor, also super useful.
Oh,
and so I really didn't touch any of the theater stuff until my senior year, and I saw they had the TSTV with a bunch of other stuff, and I was really nervous at getting into the filming of stuff, even at the end of my junior year. So I definitely didn't have the confidence to jump on it. But now where I'm at now, if I were at UT again, I would totally jump in there. I would be a little worried, honestly, from the theater types that I met. I feel like you'd have a really hard time bumping heads with people that also want to make sure that they're on the screen, because that's basically your whole theater experience is making sure that you have a good portfolio by the time you graduate. So I don't know. There's a lot of creative compromises I think that you'd have to make if you were to actually stick with that. But what do I know? I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's it was interesting. I mean, it was definitely like it was amateurish. Some people were pretty like good actors. I don't remember. Again, I was only there for one episode.
Some people were pretty good. That's a code for there were a lot of shitty actors out there.
Honestly, we did I think like a fake political debate or whatever, and someone was playing Bernie Sanders, and I was about to leave. Like, I have no acting experience. I took one beginning acting class.
Yeah.
I was gonna leave like the next week because I'm gonna bail out of here. I can't pay for this thing. And someone did a Bernie Sanders, and I'm like, I could do a better Bernie Sanders than that. I want to get up there.
That should have been me, man. So you bailed out mid-semester, or you
not
it through?
I bailed out like, oh my God, I think I made it like a month. Because the TSTV didn't really start until like sometime in September. And I think I made it to like 2 meetings, and then I just was like, fuck,
Did they reimburse you? I hope so.
That was, oh my God, my advisor was such a good person with that, because what she did is she's like, well, you're registered for 5 classes and you reached the point where, you've kind of been like, because each week it goes 10% less you get as a refund. And I think I was down to the week where it was like a 50% refund.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And I don't know why I waited that long. I'm just bad at decision making, but I waited too long. And she's like, if you bail out of all your classes now, like all 5 classes, you're going to have to pay half the $24,000. You have to pay like $12,000. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to take you down to a 1 credit class, and you bail out of that or drop out of that, and you only have to pay half of that. So, I mean, it was still a nice chunk of change, but I mean, she saved me a lot of money.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it's not awesome that you had to leave, but it's awesome that you didn't lose, crap ton of money.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's, I mean, I still pay them, but I mean, it's not like, I'm pretending I don't owe them,
That's really interesting how much, I guess, control that you personally have in the whole, where you're at in college. Because for me, honestly, the parents were like, you're going to college. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to college. And it's like, well, I guess I'll go here or whatever. And, but it sounds like you're kind of like, I think I'll, test out this super expensive college and dip my feet in it. But
yeah, I actually wish I didn't take that path, because I was like in community college, I was like so like focused on academics. I'm just like, man, I got to just get A's and everything. I just got to ace everything, and I'm going to go to a really good college. And I think it's just because like a family thing for me, like a lot of people in my family kind of went that route. And but then I see people that they're just like, I'm going to go to state university and just get my degree and work from there. And I think that's like a better path, honestly. I kind of wish I took that path instead of just being like, man, I have to go to like the best university and like,
I 100% relate. I had the whole thing in my head where it's like my brother went to A&M, and so I have to go to UT because, they're the big university or the big schools in Texas and everything. And so I didn't even get into UT right out of high school. I ended up having to do this like program called CAP where you like go to one of their sister schools because they want you to stay there. But if you happen to make it through the year and you still want to go to UT, then they let you transfer over. But so I went to school in Arlington for a year, and I could have just stayed there, man. I don't care about football at all. I didn't go to a single game, and really, honestly, dude, there are a lot of dumb people that go to UT.
Oh yeah.
You think, oh, I'm going to this like prestigious college or something, and it's like, no, like that guy that eats soap in high school is here too. And but so my whole path with college was I was going to go into computer science from like out of the gate, and when I transferred from Arlington to UT, something messed up. And I was in liberal arts, and I could not get into the computer science college. And so here I am at this expensive ass college, and I I'm not in the college I need to be into. I don't know what the hell my like plan is. I should have just did what you did and just like bail out and go to somewhere cheaper. But so I stuck it through because my parents talked to me one day and they're like, David, we're not really sure what the best option here is, but you can be kind of antagonistic sometimes, so maybe you should be a lawyer, you go to law school. So for my sophomore to the end of my senior year, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to law school. I took my LSATs and everything. Oh, wow. And the last semester of my college year, I was like, wait a second. I don't want to be a lawyer.
Fuck that.
So if you don't know, to get into law school, you just need a bachelor's degree. It really doesn't matter what you do. So I went with history because it seemed like you'd learn some kind of, writing ability from taking history. And I had this nice history degree that I couldn't do anything with. So a year after I graduated, I was just working at a bank as a bank teller, which is really super cool to tell all your friends that are like engineer stuff. You're like, I'm gonna work at a bank. Would you like that in tens or what? But anyway, so I spent all this time, all this money going to UT for useless stuff. And then right before COVID hit in February of this current year, I was talking to my brother who works in game design, and he was telling me that I could teach myself how to use like the Unreal Engine for the stuff they do. And so I just like quit my job, spent 3 months learning that, and now spent $0 and I work doing game design stuff.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
So I don't think that you need to do the whole college stuff. You don't need to waste money going to some stupid school. Just it's the personal motivation that really is the most important factor.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's like I don't know if you ever heard of Frank Zappa, but like I think it was like a quote he said. He's like, it's like you don't need to go to college, just go to a library. That was back when libraries were a thing. Now it's all the internet. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Absolutely. Anyway, going off of that, like how did you get started with, cause you said
exactly where I was going to go, man. That's where I was going.
Yeah. Like
how does it all start? Yeah. Okay. So I'll throw out my, my life experience here, and then I'll let you return or whatever. Yeah, but so for me, I grew up watching YouTube videos, just all the sketch channels, Julian Smith or whatever, and
totally care about Julian Smith.
and I always wanted to like make videos, but I knew as like a child, I've been blessed with the knowledge that no one wants to listen to a squeaky 10-year-old, kid. It's just not in the cards at the time. But I still kind of kept it in the back of my head. Who the heck who is behind the door? Anyway, I'm not in a maybe when there's not a small chance I'll die when I answer the door. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But currently,
I know that.
Let's see, train of thought. So I always wanted to do this stuff, but I never really got around to it because I'm sure you probably maybe were in a similar situation where just making the very first video is a really big step of just doing it, and so I didn't have like any gear. I didn't have any idea about how hard it was to do stuff. And the beginning, like the summer before my senior year of school, I filmed like 2 videos, and they're the oldest videos on my channel, and they are awful. The audio is terrible. The visual is just terrible. And I thought I had this like great idea, but like they just were not great or really good at all. But I realized very quickly how difficult it was to just do like the stuff that's not the video idea, like the whole, cinematography and all that crud. And it really killed my desire to try to do that because it seemed like I didn't have the experience. And then I took a class my first semester of my senior year that was like a theater class. And one day we came in and they said, hey, we're just not having class today. Instead, you should use this time to do something that you've always wanted to do, but you just didn't have the time for it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go online. I'm going to buy a tripod. I'm going to buy a lav mic and, all that jazz. And so I went and I did that. And one of my friends had told me about the YouTube haiku subreddit. And he said, yeah, there's like, 30-second videos there and stuff. You can try to do that. And because previous to knowing its existence, you're just like uploading stuff to the void.
Right.
You're like,
No attention on
how do
it.
people get views? Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, so around I think December or something, I finally made like my first video. It's awful, but and so it goes. Snowballed into what it is today.
Nice.
How about you, Evan? What was your moment?
Oh, I'm not that interested. No, my first moment, it was not that long. It was like a year ago. I was in community college, and it's kind of the same thing. I'd been watching YouTube haiku forever. I'd been watching it for like, I started with watching YouTube haiku. Like, I never watched Julian Smith or any like, the only thing on YouTube I ever watched maybe was just, I don't even remember what I was watching back then. But anyway, I stumbled upon YouTube haiku somehow on Reddit. And I think I saw Gus Johnson. He was like the first, like, he always like would post on there like constantly. And I'm looking at that, and I'm in my head, because it was so amateurish, I guess. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do that. So I just fucking, no, I just, got my phone out. And I think the first thing I tried was, it was just bad. Like, I think I went to a friend's house, and I'm just like, I brought my DSLR. I brought a tripod. I think my first idea was just like joking about community college. I think what was it? It was just like, so like one guy says, oh, man, what community college class are you taking? And what was it? He's like, oh, I'm studying for my bio exam or something. And then it was just going to be like him. I don't know. It was just I was like joking about like, because I think I was taking this bio class and it was just like really easy, and I don't know. Everybody jokes about community college being easy. Long story short, it came out really bad. And I don't think, yeah. And I got way too much equipment for it. I think I was just going overboard. And
for real? You stocked up on it?
Yeah, I had a friend who was I think he was renting out equipment. I'm just like, can I rent like, I don't know, like an audio, like one of those microphones with like the crisscross, and can I get like I'll bring my DSLR, and can I get some lenses? And I think by the time I was like halfway through it, oh, and my friend, when I was filming it, he liked to smoke a lot of pot. And so we were filming the sketch, and he just took a hit of a bowl, and he was just out after that. Giving him his lines, just like, so anyway, yeah, it didn't work out for me.
That could have been a really good pivot point for the video.
Honestly, sometimes when I'm filming, my friends will have better ideas than I do, and I'm just like, yeah, just do. But the first video like I posted, I think was what the hell was it? I was just like walking. What was it?
Dude, I don't remember. Your channel pulled up. I'm gonna just
go for it.
It's called It's 2 years old. I guess you had a meme or something that you posted. There's a school project called the Teleport and Watch commercial.
Oh yeah, that was a school project I had to do. Yeah, that one. We were in class and we would just like to make people laugh. But anyway, the first thing I think that I put on haiku was it was a Sonic thing, I think, and then after that I did the drug deal, and yeah, it was
awkward drug deal.
That was anyway, but I kind of started the same way. It was just kind of sketches that I had no idea what direction to go with, but and I just kind of like tacked on weird stuff at the end. But
yeah, I think when I started making the videos, I was making them sort of like how I had seen them. So like Gus Johnson and those kind of guys, they do a particular style of sketches, I think. And I think a lot of people, the first time they make sketches, is they're like, I'll just do what Gus Johnson does. And not only does it's kind of like unoriginal because you're just kind of doing his thing, but it's probably not as good either, because there's more to it than just being goofy on camera,
Yeah.
But over time, when I was making some videos, I was also trying to find out like a niche that I could tap into. And I don't remember how long it took me, but after a while, there's like this era in my channel of videos that are like cardboard cutout masks that are like topical videos. And it went for like a few months, and I was like the cardboard mask guy. And there were some main drawbacks to having this as my style, primarily that my face is not in the video. No one knows who I am because I'm wearing, Donald Trump's face on my face. And also, the second, I guess, real key thing that made me stop making these kind of videos is that they were topical and they might be funny at the time,
Right.
but I watch a video now, I have absolutely no idea what was going on with some guy that I vaguely recognize, So currently, my game plan is sort of, I guess, relatable kind of things. Like if it's a current video game or something, I'll try to make a video about it, but keep it so that 10 years from now someone could watch it and hopefully understand the joke. That's the main thing.
Yes. You kind of transition from like that, just those early type of videos, and eventually you kind of stumbled upon like a new style, or like a similar style, but like a new kind of idea for that. Like kind of.
Yeah. I think that currently I've got 2 or 3 styles that I kind of bounce between.
Yeah.
The main reason for that is because, look, I spent a lot of time on Reddit. I spent a lot of time also on YouTube IQ. And when I'm on YouTube IQ, I'm not looking at memes. I'm looking specifically at other sketch channels.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing what everyone's doing, and I also read the comments. And first of all, holy cow, man, people on Reddit are just relentless.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like I always think of haiku as like, it's like a virtual like comedy cellar type place where it's just this club, and people don't like it. It's like Showtime at the Apollo. It's like, this isn't funny or whatever.
I know. Yeah. But so the main complaints I see for people that are doing well is that it gets kind of derivative, it gets stale, whatever it is that they're doing. And so I have one video kind of type that is filming from the first person. Those are usually kind of video game references. There's also this kind of video type where it's always just me and Nick, my friend Nick, just sitting at my dining room table, and there's no like fantasy, like we're not in a castle or something. This is my dining room table. This is me. That's Nick. That is it. And then there's maybe some kind of, fantastical element that's added to the mix.
Maybe nothing. Avoid.
And I like those as well. And then there's just kind of the bad videos. Those are the other kind of genre.
I know genre that.
But so I like, my idea is that if you interval between these at a consistent enough basis, that people will kind of hopefully avoid hitting the, they won't at least see your joke coming from 10 miles away because you're mixing it up a little bit.
That's what I really like about your videos. Like, what stood out to me about yours and what continues to stand out is like your videos. You do like a lot of meta humor too, which honest to God, like I don't think. I'm not sure if maybe I'm just not well versed in. I hope I am. I watch a lot.
I'll let you know.
But I have not seen. I really haven't seen that type of humor. At least not that much, and that was just very unique. And like, what inspired you to do like meta humor? Like, for example, like your bowling video, which is one of my favorites of yours.
Spare me the details.
Where it's just like it was like strike and then spare. It just kind of goes out now. Like, what inspired that style for you?
So so those meta videos, they're probably my favorite videos to make because they're typically the easiest to make.
Really.
It goes back to so when I'm like, I'm not a pro of cinematography. I'm not the sound guy or whatever. And so I found that if you're filming something that looks like it's, just like what it's supposed to be in real life, that you can get away with kind of worse quality because you're not pretending to be, some crazy thing. And with meta humor, it usually retains like if it's me filming a video and then the me filming a video is another video, that's like very easy for me to actually like kind of create, as opposed to some of my video ideas where I kind of bite off more than I can chew, and maybe I have to do some fancy editing that hopefully comes off well. But for the meta, see, I would love it if I could just post meta videos, but one, people would start seeing that coming a mile away after like 3 in a row, but it's hard to, when you think of meta is like a video that references, I guess, something that the video contains,
Right.
like self-referential kind of thing.
Yeah, like videoception, I guess.
Yeah. So for the strike video, it's, the strike screen is a video of some guy bowling and getting a strike thing, basically. And there's some other videos where, like, I'll be talking to Nick about video ideas, and I'll say, well, I don't really have the props for that. And Nick's like, well, you could just use paper labels. And slowly everything in the video is getting replaced with paper labels and stuff. The problem I have with it is it's really hard to think of anything that I haven't already done. I've only done like 5 or 6, I guess, solid meta videos, but my mind gets latched onto the ones I've already done, and it's really hard to get something that's different enough to justify making, because you can only make a video so many times before people start going, hey, wait a second.
There's all videos in it? Yeah.
You've already done this joke. I don't like you. Unsubscribed.
So anyway, but yeah, with those, like, with those meta videos, like, how do they kind of, like, you just kind of think of an idea?
How does it come? Dude, if I find that out, then I'm gonna be set if I figure out how I come up with video ideas.
I mean, do you think of, like, the bowling video, for example? Do you think, like, oh, I have this joke, but then I can add this onto it? Or is it just, like, all come in just kind of one piece? It's just like, oh, well,
okay.
Yeah.
I do kind of remember the process for the bowling video. I thought a bowling video was going to be super obvious, because when I'm thinking of so there's the meme that it's built on, the meme that,
oh yeah,
you get a strike and then something silly happens on screen. So we were, I guess, kind of, whenever I'm coming with ideas, it's sometimes by myself, and sometimes if Nick is available, then we'll just kind of riff on some stuff. And so I think for the bowling thing, I'm like, okay, so there's this meme that's kind of popular right now where you get a strike and then something weird happens. And at that time, I'd already made, I guess, some meta videos. It seemed like it was almost too obvious of a thing for me, where I go like, wait, what if the silly thing on the screen is a guy that's like bowling? Like, look, I guess the way you said it is like, it all just came at once, more or less.
Nice.
Obviously, the hardest part of actually committing to that idea is, oh, crud, I have to actually go to a bowling alley, film something. And we were there for like, it took like 30 minutes of straight bowling before Nick would get a dang strike. Then we finally filmed it. But let me tell you the real secret to come out with good video ideas. So you start blank slate, okay? And you go, out of desperation, you go, I have not uploaded video in a week and a half. I need something in the next couple days. So you you take all your clothes off, run a nice shower, and you just stay in there until you have the good video idea.
I can totally relate to that, because my best video ideas will just come when I'm in the shower and I'm just doing nothing, and I'm just like, my mind just is like, yeah, I totally relate to that kind of idea.
And if that doesn't work, which, I mean, first of all, if that doesn't work, you're in a troubled place, because I don't know how else to force an idea out. But the other 50% of ideas are like flashes that come into your mind at 2 a.m. in the morning, and you wake up in a hot sweat and you're like, where's my phone? You write something down really quickly. And there are several good videos that are just like weird fever dream kind of ideas, I guess.
Yeah. Do you write full scripts for your videos, or is it improv, or is it like...
No, usually because I can never commit to anything I'm saying. Usually we'll like say it and I'll be like, that's stupid, let's just... Well, first of all, I guess I should say this first. If I can get away with a video having no dialogue, that is the best video. I want to have as little dialogue as possible. If you're watching a video of mine and I'm saying a bunch of stuff, realize that I hate this idea and I do not like the situation that I'm in. There are a couple of them where it's a bunch of exposition that are good, but because I'm not a good actor. If you see something on a video that looks like it was well done, just realize that I probably did that 50 times. Mm-hmm. And this 30-second video probably took my entire Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally.
So I don't necessarily write out a script, but I do write out like the beats for like the premise and then the punchline, and maybe some like step in between. If I think of a really good line, maybe I'll write a line down or something. But
like bullet points, like a rough outline.
basically, and sometimes if I'm trying to get Nick to say something in particular, I'll write down a little script thing, and then it's nothing too strict or whatever. Typically, it's just if that's funny, then we go with it. If it's not funny, we just keep trying.
That's really cool. Yeah, because your videos, like, I mean, they've always like seemed to be very structured. So it's interesting, like that. I always thought like you wrote a script and you like kind of maybe even storyboarded. Like I didn't.
You've been rused.
Oh my god! When you're doing film programs and stuff, they drive that in. Like they're just like, you have to,
look, man,
you have to write it. You're like, yeah, I just want to like do it.
I'm speaking out of my ass here, so I'm probably wrong. But if there were any career path that you could get away with just figuring it out on your own, I think RTF, you can probably just get a camera and start, because it all comes down to your portfolio, I think. If you're trying to get a job somewhere related to RTF and it's like a film thing or whatever thing, they don't care that you have a piece of paper from UT or wherever it is you go. They want to see what you've done, and they go, okay, cool. Yeah, we can actually use or teach you this stuff that we specifically do, but it looks like you kind of have a good grasp of whatever. And so that's not to say drop out and like whatever, it's good to have a sort of guidance. But like you said, yes, professional stuff, storyboards, but like for this, I don't know, man. Like if it helps you, go for it. But you could just kind of do a million different things that would get to the same conclusion, I think.
And that's so funny too, because like, I think that's like an entertainment. I think because that's what separates, I guess, like doing it from a technical sense, but then like for entertainment, I feel like it's like, because I've had videos that I spend a lot of time on, and I'll do like 50 saves of it, and I don't know if you do that, but like I'll just do save like draft number 1. I can do it with papers too, but
yeah.
And then I'll like film a million parts of it and go kind of crazy, and it'll do terribly. But then I'll do a video, like I don't know, like I'll just kind of act it out on the spot, and then it'll like.
Isn't that the worst? Isn't that the worst when you're like, this happens to me every time I think a video is going to do well, total stinker in the gutter, and then I'm like, oh, I don't even want to upload this video because I'm pretty sure it sucks. And then people are like, oh my god,
yeah,
it's so hilarious. I'm like, all right, I don't know what's funny.
Sure, yeah, okay.
It's hard to kind of work outside of what works on YouTube IQ, because there's a very particular humor style, I think, that does well on there. There's abrupt violence, or just abrupt anything. That's good. Sometimes punchlines, if you got a really, really solid punchline, then it can compete. But if you just want to make a video that does good on YouTube IQ, just be like, all right, now how can I how can I shoot someone at the end of this video? I say that because there is a video that these other sketch guys made making fun of that same concept of all we have to do is shoot someone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with like that. That has to do with like the drug video I made. Like I had no idea how to end that. I'm just like, what if he hits a fucking pole? And fucking yeah, I mean it's kind of like that sometimes, like the perfectly cut screen, or like
Yeah, I think in a healthy moderation that it's it doesn't hurt or whatever. But it also, you got to be careful, because then people will be like, all this guy does is, he doesn't think of a joke. They'll catch on, basically. They'll love it at first, and then they'll hate you for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep up with all the big stuff on YouTube IQ, but there's like a crazy shift where initially they've got funny stuff, it's really good quality, and then they keep doing the same stuff, and then it's like, man, screw these guys. All they're doing is like blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, what happened? What happened? Why do you people hate them now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's you definitely have to change your style around quite a bit. And, or not necessarily your style, but like, yeah, I guess like your videos, different content, kind of mix it up a little.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can't keep doing like the same shtick. I remember I'd go to school and my friends like, oh, dude, these guys, they dropped it, and it was funny. Like I was like, this is funny. I like this. And then I noticed they just don't nowadays, because it's the same kind of thing. Like they don't. Yeah.
I guess when you have a very like specific thing that you do, if you make the same video a few times, people kind of catch on. I think there's a give and a take, because if you do make the like similar themed content, you run the risk of getting all the people crapping on you. but also people see you coming back and they start to recognize you, and you kind of get this recognition. Whereas if I upload a video in first person, then I upload a video doing mess stuff and upload something else, you might not realize that all three of those videos are made by the same guy, or, in fact, I had, this was like a year ago, but I made a couple meta videos. There was this like streak where I was like just making meta stuff. I think they were good. But this guy comments like, all this guy does is meta videos. And I'm like, dude, I've got like 50 other videos on my channel that are like not that. I think I commented like, why do I do this and this and this? And he responded like, oh, I just didn't realize that was you making all those videos. So I don't really know what the secret formula is, to whatever. I absolutely hate the idea of like branding the B word, because when I think about making YouTube videos, I think of that fun era where it's just people kind of doing stuff. I don't put outros on my things because I feel like it takes away from the punchiness of the punchline to like, here's the punchline, and now here's some smooth jazz music with my channel saying to subscribe. It works for some people, but I haven't found the mix yet. No,
that's interesting. Well, I mean, as far as branding goes, I don't even know, like, because I feel like, well, putting the title card at the end, because I think it's like Gus started that thing too, where it's like with the music and the title card. So, yeah. I know there's a lot of people that, I'm divided on that, because sometimes when you end a video, when you put that in, it can kind of disrupt the punchline, I feel, personally. It depends, though. I feel like some, but like other times you just want it to end in the video to just hit the, the end. So
especially in the violent videos, if the video ends and your body is flying against a wall, that better be the end of the video,
Like, what was it? The Harry Potter video you made, I remember.
Exactly, like the Harry Potter video. And the Goblet of Fire! That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I am so lucky that I just had the things to make that dummy just lying around, and I'm constantly trying to think of ways to reuse it. I just cannot think of anything that's like, I guess, different enough from that video. But who knows? Maybe the next video will have a blue dressed up David getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Personally, if you want to know how to get to my core to frustrate me, just say, wow, you're like X, or you are just like this other person's stuff, because I don't know, I don't like the idea of like, you're not original. Even these are always compliments. Let me just say that people do not usually mean to do this, but I always kind of feel like it lessens what you do if it's just like, hey, this other guy's doing that too, or I don't know.
No, I feel the opposite about you. I mean, that's what stands out about you. It's like your videos, they're different. I mean, again, like not just the meta humor, but the way you do it, the first person, the kind of more stationary, I guess, shots and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's
hopefully that'd be really funny if you said, well, actually, that's weird because I think that you look a lot like, or you act a lot like.
Your videos are Gus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I understand. At the end of the day, they're all sketches, so there is going to be similarity between everything. But everyone's got their own like joke, humor style,
I think it's important to like develop your own style. Absolutely, just as a creator. Yeah. And yeah, it's tempting though. I will admit, like when I saw Gus Johnson, back in the day, I'm like, man, it seems like because it's just like, again, like the camera shake and everything. It's just like people kind of going out. It's like, I got my camcorder. It's like. It's tempting to just kind of fool around like that.
Yeah, it's very. It seems to be doable because it's like intentionally kind of amateurish looking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Recording. And yeah.
But behind the scenes,
it's really funny how Gus let in this like wave of style that is zooming in at the beginning of each cut. And what it is you want to keep like your energy up in the video, you want to keep that momentum of, even if there's not a joke going on, you don't want like a slow pace going on for whatever you're doing. And something about just like the quick cut and then the zoom for each and every single cut, it manages to keep that energy going. But it's really funny that after, I mean, maybe Guts wasn't the first one to do it, but he kind of, I guess, popularized it.
It's almost a divide within it. Is like, you have the quick zoom people, and then you have the more stationary, like
boring channels. Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting. Or Ian Kung too. Like he does like a lot of like stationary kind of like
Yeah. But dude, Ian stuff is like so him. Like like there's no one that's doing the whatever, because one, like, it's topical or whatever. But dude, like, every single video on Ian's channel is funny. I mean,
a banger.
Whatever he's doing, it's good. It's actually really funny because I've made a few videos about Ian. I've made maybe 3 videos.
Oh yeah,
and they were not specifically for the attempts to like get Ian's attention or anything. One was like super old, where Ian's video got taken down, and so I made a mask of Ian, and I like acted out YouTube beating the crap out of Ian. And then I made another video that was like basically trashing on him for like how to come up with a good topical sketch, where you just like load up Reddit and see the top like news article and start writing on paper. But it was really crazy because so I have a Twitter account that I do not use. It has maybe 10 followers, and they're probably people from high school. Mm-hmm. But I got a DM from Ian a couple weeks ago, and I guess he had been seen a couple of the things I'd done on YouTube IQ, and he randomly felt like just saying hey. So I talked to him for a little bit and got his perspective on stuff. He's actually like a comedian. That's like he does stand up and stuff. That's how he pays the bills. That seems terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know how to. I'm not going to go into like everything that he said about his style, but there's a lot of thought that goes into making sure that he retains that kind of, again, I hate the word, but branding,
Yeah. It's interesting about Ian because like I was on one of his Twitch streams the other day, and I was just like, I was curious how he does his stuff too, and shooting questions at him because it was only like 40, 50 people, and he's like, oh yeah. And so yeah, he was a stand-up. It was really cool. Like, I heard his story. Apparently he started, I used to have seen his like Comedy Central.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's like, I couldn't believe it when I heard that. I was like, oh man, that sucks. But yeah, he's like, he made something good out of it, and I think he did stand-up in the Bay Area, and something like, yeah, I think he had done stand-up down there, and he kind of went with videos from there. So yeah, his story is definitely an interesting story.
This has now become the Ian Kung podcast.
We're getting way off track here. We're getting totally off track, but I'm gonna like trim the shit. But yeah, Ian Kung is he's good shit. He's good shit. All of his videos are very consistent.
Yeah. Let's talk about consistency, because that's something that I dread.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to the Reddit of reading comments and stuff. I get this like horror every time I read someone saying something like, yeah, like they're funny, but they're kind of hit or miss,
Mm-hmm.
That's just like a dagger in my heart if I read that. Usually it's about other people, but whenever that kind of sentiment is directed towards me, then it's like, because there's this like kind of fear of becoming labeled as hit or miss, because if you're just making good videos, then, everything is great in the universe. People go, oh, I love this guy. He's hilarious. But then you make a video. You spend like probably your whole day making it, coming up with it and everything. You upload it, and that video has basically now worked against you, because now people see, like, if you make a miss, they'll be like, oh, well, I thought you were this god of comedy or something. But now I realize that I'm going to have to flip a coin if I want to enjoy your videos, So there's a lot of stress of that's what I used to make videos on a weekly basis. I know, crazy times. That was the first 6 months of uploading was weekly videos. I realized after about 6 months that the quality of the jokes were very unstable, and that sometimes I was just like trying to get something out because I just couldn't, I was worried that if I didn't upload something every week that people would forget I existed, Yeah,
I totally relate to that as well.
But I realized, I was like, dude, they don't have like that short attention span. If your jokes are good and you're making consistently good jokes, it's not going to matter if it's 2 or 3 weeks. They're going to know like that, that you're the guy or whatever. So I switched to a loose bi-weekly schedule, which is what I currently do, and I missed the mark on the last video upload. It took 3 weeks, and I felt really bad about that. But now it's even worse if I make a bad video because there's 2 weeks between the next one, and people just have this thing where it's like, oh hey, this sucks.
Yeah. It's definitely like, I feel, because like it's the opposite with like stand up, for example, because if you do stand up comedy and you get your practice, you get your chops in like a club or whatever, and you can mess up and you can, and people forget about it, and then a new crowd will come in and it'll be like, oh, this is, but with doing online videos, it's, if you miss the mark one week, and it's definitely like a gut punch,
If you do well, everyone that's in that audience is going to be there for the next one. Whereas in the comedy, like stand-up, it's like different people every time. And so it's almost like you feel like you're letting someone down if you've like made a shitty video or something.
So like,
I think the last video that just kind of got lost in translation of the idea to actually the video would be the reverse video I did, because when we came up with the idea of doing, so the joke is about the Uno reverse card. And the idea was initially like there was going to be a double reverse, because everyone already knows about the joke about the Uno reverse card. Like, oh, haha, you do a thing, Uno reverse card, it's a reverse.
Right.
And it was going to be, so let me just really quickly kind of burn through the initial idea. So there was going to be, Nick and I were going to be playing Uno. There was going to be like a drive-by that happens, and Nick was going to get shot, and he's going to be dead. And I was going to be like, oh my God, Nick's dead. And I was going to be like freaking out, and I would actually hit the table on accident. And I guess an Uno reverse card unknowingly to me would land on Nick, and he would pop back up. And I'd be like, dude, Nick, you're alive. What the hell happened? Are you just messing with me? And he would like kind of hold up the reverse card, and he would say something backwards. And I'd be like, oh, haha, you're being funny because the Uno thing, funny joke. And after he speaks backwards, I'm like, okay, I guess you want me to reverse you again, right? And so I throw another reverse card on him, and then the bullets shoot through him one more time. And I was like, and so we tried to film that, and it was just like weird, like it wasn't filming the way I wanted it to. And so we switched it to what the idea ended up being, which was just the basic Uno reverse thing. We didn't go the extra layer, and so the video is literally just like, hey, you know that Uno reverse meme? Well, here's the Uno reverse meme. Okay, please clap. That's what I consider like a stinker, is like if you don't go far enough with your idea. If people can see coming, if you can pause the video halfway through and say, this is the punchline and you're right, it's not a good video.
Like, how do you, well, I guess it leads to my next question. Like, how do you, when you make a video, how do you know, like, is it just kind of an instinct for you, or do you ask people, or like, do you know this is going to work? Like, this is going to land? Or do you just kind of just throw the dice on it, kind of like if you're not completely sure?
Like I said, if I go into posting a video and I think this is going to do well, that is a guaranteed death sentence. That video will not do well. Mm-hmm. That video will die. But most of the time, sometimes I'm like on the money, but I usually have to send it to, I usually send it to my brother and my friends. Nick doesn't really count because he's in the, he's biased. He of course thinks it's good. He's not going to film the whole damn thing and be like, yeah, that sucked. Mm-hmm. But, so either I send it to my friends and they'll be like, meh, or it's really hard to get a straight answer out of your friends, but, or sometimes I'll send it and they'll say, hey, I actually thought this was going to happen. And if I'm like, oh, that's a good alternative, then sometimes I'll go back and revisit that. I don't like refilming because I like to just be done with it, Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of the vetting process.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah. You always need like kind of a friend that's just going to be 100% honest. You need that person who's just going to be like, or,
yeah. So sometimes I send them to like loose acquaintances who I know don't care about my feelings. That way they'll just be like, meh.
That is smart. I got to start doing that. Because
honestly, what I wanted to do is sorry to cut you off, but like one of these days I'm going to just like on the Reddit thread be like, hey, all you random ass people, I'm going to make a Discord and it's exclusively going to be used for me to throw potential videos. I just want you to tell me if it sucks. That way it's like a big pool of randos, But then again, you run the dice of the only people who are like actually going to join a Discord like that are people that like your videos, you're not going to. So
it's difficult.
I don't know. It's hard. Yeah.
And then you'll send it to some friends and they'll be nice about it. They'll be like, "Oh man, that's really good," and then you'll post it, and then Reddit will just no like
They think they're sparing you like this being mean, but then really you're like this false confidence, and you're like, awesome, this video is great, and then it's like, oh, I'm just gonna never make videos ever again now.
Yeah, it's just like, just fucking tell me it sucks, okay? Just
and the bigger you get, the more the rough feedback from randos gets. I was talking to Ian, like I had said briefly, and I was telling him that I was like, man, someone said like the video wasn't as good as the others, but I'll be here next time. And I was kind of sad. And Ian was like, oh, you think that's a bad comment? And he just like pulls up the list of kill yourself.
It sucks when you see someone like him too, because like he's so consistent, and it's like I feel like it sets his bar so high, and then you're just like, man,
I know,
it has to be like, because Ian can do it, I have to be able to like to live up to that somehow. And yeah, it's
part of me doesn't want to get that big, just because I don't think I can handle that kind of pressure.
Nobody knows how the algorithm works, but it works in mysterious ways.
Let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I've heard people do different things. I've heard people do tagging, I guess, and
I don't know. I put like 4 tags in my videos because it's like too much work, and I don't think it does anything. But maybe that's it.
Yeah. I did have another question, but I just going off that point too. Like I've seen like creators, like they'll have like their regular views, and then one video they do will like if it 50 million views or what, not literally, but like it just kind of spikes. I think that it gets on people's recommended or whatever.
Yeah. So from it's totally random. Sometimes if it's like a topical video, you might have a better chance. I think it's based on like how many people end up liking and sharing the video. This might come as a major shock to you, but I have never gotten recommended by YouTube. I know that you might look at the views on some of these bad boys, but that is just a testament to how good alternative sources of getting views are, because I've got 2 videos that have over 1 million views on it, which is freaking insane, first of all. There were results not of YouTube recommending the content to anyone. I mean, there might be a couple recommends in there, but the bulk of it is, one, you got Reddit. YouTube IQ has a pretty substantial pull if you manage to break that front page.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if it's exactly super popular right now. I haven't kind of kept up with it very recently, but there's this playlist called the Instant Regret playlist. Are you familiar? Yeah. I think you might have been put in it, honestly.
I was put in it for one video, and I remember, I think Epic Donut dude, he commented, and views just went poor.
So that, I know what you're talking about. It's the radio station one, right?
Yeah.
That you got put in.
That was like my one hit wonder.
So I think the playlist might be a little bit on the decline, because before, if you were put in this playlist, you were guaranteed 1 million views, because I guess the playlist itself was being recommended to people. So you being put in this playlist meant that you were pretty in a good spot. But it's nice, but it's also depressing to think that, okay, so I still don't know how to get recommended on YouTube.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's something to do with like, I think that's for trending. I don't know, sure, your views have to be like more than your subscribers or something. I don't know.
I've actually been on trending once.
I remember.
Yeah.
That video, I just want to say that was like a brilliant. That was
you want to know? Okay, I'll say 2 things about that. First of all, this is how you get on trending. It's very simple. Okay, so first, right here. First, you need to get at least 10,000 upvotes on YouTube IQ, which, very simple feat. Yeah. After that, you want to make sure that your post gets 20,000 upvotes on r/videos. Oh, yeah. And somewhere in between there, I think there's a button a switch that gets flipped where they say, okay, we'll put it on trending for a minute.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, like, I feel like there's like a split too. Like if you post something on YouTube Haiku, it may not necessarily do good on videos, but sometimes if you can hit the trifecta, so to speak, you kind of do good on you do good on videos. It's like you're set pretty much.
I think if you're first of all, I think that the only most of the people that are going to be watching this podcast are probably other people that make videos for YouTube Echo. They're probably going to be the ones interested.
Yeah.
So if the progression, I think, that you ought to be making from being total rando to getting a breakout is you start on YouTube Haiku, and then you pivot into our videos, because do you know who Phil Jameson is?
Yeah.
So Phil used to make haikus. He used to make haikus, really good, solid stuff. And then I think he always wanted to make longer stuff. And so he started making longer stuff. And it was at a point where he kind of had an audience at that point. And people started always posting his stuff to r/videos. And the upper limit on our videos is way higher than the upper limit on YouTube Haiku. So I think like the general kind of evolution of your channel, I have not done this. I'm too scared to make a longer video because I'm worried that it'll get boring if I go for more than 30 seconds. But it seems like that's kind of the process. At least a few people. Gus Johnson did it. I think Ian's stuff is starting to do it. I don't know. You can probably write a list of everyone.
Yeah.
Now available on DVD and video.
I wanted to ask you, like, I mean, going back to your videos, like, with on the technical aspect of it, this is a bad segue, but but with like the technical aspect of it, I noticed one thing you do in your videos in particular, which kind of sets them apart too, is like the editing. And your editing, you do a lot of like.
Does it?
Yes.
Like what in particular are you talking about? Because
I noticed, well, a lot of your videos, you do a lot of like kind of seamless cuts between things. Like, I'm not sure what the technical phrase is. I probably learned it somewhere down the line, but I totally forgot. But like when
the camera shifts and then it cuts to a different.
Yeah. So like, I think there's one of your videos when it went to like, what was it? I think it was the video where the Office one, where like I think.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you. Okay, years ago, I watched one Casey Neistat vlog, and now my God, a video. Okay, so I actually do remember watching the Casey Neistat video where he's talking about his like segues to like different cuts, and he says, "What you gotta do is you gotta pivot the camera to make it so it's blurry, and then you start the next shot with the same kind of blurriness, and it makes a very convincing segue." So I've done it a lot of times in my videos, and I just get lucky with how it turns out, because so the key is to move the camera so quick that it makes it so blurry that it doesn't matter what is changing between, like it will kind of work. For the Office one, I think if you pause it, you can kind of see like the moment that it's switching. But there's one video that it is just like, I don't know how it came out so well, because it's this video called Durability, where it's making fun of video games that have weapons that break, and basically it's me walking up with like a hammer to beat a nail into a plank, and I go up and I hit the nail, and then I stop the camera and I drop the hammer, and then I restart and I kind of do a continued motion forward. I would invite anyone to look at that video, especially the first hammer that breaks. It is somehow like perfect. I didn't do any like fancy like outside of just splicing the clips together thing. It just so happened that if you keep the motion and keep the camera in more or less the same spot, that you can do some crazy stuff. It's really weird how easy it is to make some of these really seemingly convincingly difficult, I don't know if they seem difficult or not, shots where a lot of times I'll use it to expand my cast of people I have available, where I'll be standing, usually the first person videos, I'll be standing in front of the camera or something. Maybe Nick will be recording, and Nick will turn the camera real quick, and then I'll be the other guy.
Oh, nice.
So,
you kind of use that same kind of like motion blur style.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll be in the same room. He'll turn the camera real quick, and I'll change out of whatever I'm in, and I'll go over there and I'll put it on, and then we'll start the next clip with a really quick turn. And suddenly now there's more than two people that are involved in in the video. You got to get creative because no one wants to help you with your stupid YouTube videos.
Oh, that's incredibly, like, I remember, I think your 4 video stands out to me a lot with the what was it, where you like reached out and like the hammer came to your hand.
Oh yeah,
and like killed someone, and then someone kind of the Sopranos style. Yeah, no.
That video in particular is a testament to how little I know about cameras, because the way everything looks outside is terrible. Like it's like very bright and like the colors are all off and everything. But yeah, dude, for that video, that is the most expensive video I've made.
Really?
I don't want to say how much I spent. I spent a lot of money on that video because I wanted Thor to drop in from the sky, and I'm like, I gotta get a drone. And I'm looking at drones. I'm like, man, these drones are kind of expensive. So if I'm gonna buy a drone, I gotta buy the most expensive one because I'm totally gonna use this in like a ton of videos, and I have not used it in any other videos. But you'll also notice, so that video is first person. I bought a Thor outfit because there's a brief moment where you see Thor's stomach, and so that was another probably like $40 or $50 drops, and then I had to buy the Thor hammer, which was the cheapest thing, surprisingly. But yeah, so I'm really glad that video did well because I'd be really depressed if I wasted all that cash on it.
Dang, yeah, I thought that shot where you landed on I had no idea that was a drone. I literally thought you just took the camera and you just like, faced it down and you jumped off a chair or something. I was like, how did you...
Dude, what? A chair? Look how high that shit is.
I was like, wait, you jump from a ladder? Like, what the... Like, I did not think drone. And now I'm thinking, oh, okay, drone.
Yeah, and it used that same technique that we were talking about earlier where the drone kind of comes down and then I kind of blurred the image and swapped to the handheld footage.
Oh, wow. So you don't ever worry about lighting or anything? You just kind of like go for it and just kind of everything in post pretty much?
If there's a lot of post stuff that gets done, a lot of color correction and everything to unscrew up everything. I am actually at least semi adept with Sony Vegas. That's what I use, Sony Vegas 15. There's several videos where I have spent hours and hours and hours keyframing stuff to get a there's a ton of the videos that do it. Oh, so the recent one was the guard duty video.
Is that the one with the invisible?
With the invisible.
I wondered how you did that too. That was...
How do you think I did it?
I thought that you possibly used maybe masking or rotoscoping or something like that, because I when I saw like the thing hanging, or not hanging but like floating, I'm like, maybe there's a string and maybe like I'm talking about a magician or something, like I do that. But it's like that, like maybe you just kind of rotoscope the string out, because I think I saw an outtake of it too. I might have looked in the...
Oh, dang it. You looked at the comment. Okay, yes.
I saw like kind of dang, I'm like, but did he really go through all the trouble of rotoscoping that? Like, what the... I would have taken, I hate rotoscoping.
Yes.
So.
Okay, here's the nice thing about rotoscoping in that particular situation. I'm rotoscoping out a bottle. And the bottle, it pivots and everything, but for the most part. So what I did was I tied a string to the top of it, and I tied a string to the middle-ish bottom of it. And I have it really tightly taut. That way I can like move it and stuff as I need. And so basically, like I'm in the frame and I'm just kind of like walking like this, and I then took a still shot of just the environment with no one in it, and just went through frame by frame. It was easy on the water bottle because the water bottle, I tried to make sure that it didn't like rotate towards the camera so that it just keeps this shape, so I'm just rotating instead of like remasking this new shape. It took a long time. It came out really clean though, I will say. I was pretty surprised, but a lot of the videos are pain in my ass because I have to rotoscope a ton of stuff like that.
That actually brings me to my next question. What is the most difficult video that you've made?
Okay, I should be able to figure this out. Off the top of my head, the most difficult video. Now, I will say there's kind of like a difference between a difficult in making a video and difficult coming up with a video. I wouldn't be able to tell you what the most difficult video to come up with is, but there are some videos where I'm just like, I spend 3 days in a row just beating my head against the wall trying to think of something that's like clever. I don't know. But the most difficult to make, you know what? I already know what it is because it's most difficult per time used filming. So there's the good morning video that is a Zelda joke where this guy is sitting, he's got his Switch down on his table, he's got his morning coffee, and he picks up his coffee mug and he puts it on his coffee, like, what do you call it, the little cup?
Oh, coffee table.
Yeah, basically he puts it down on the, whatever these things are called, I don't know.
Oh, coaster.
Coaster.
Yeah.
And it makes the noise in Zelda that happens when you solve a puzzle and a little Korok thing appears in the game. And in real life, this giant Korok monstrosity busts in the front door and starts going like, yeah. And so Nick and I. So first of all, I will say how much this one costs because it's not that. I mean, it was like $100. It was like $100 to buy all this stuff for that. Whoa! This guy's got $100 to his money. No, dude. Yeah. So I was working at the time, and Nick was not working, and so I said, Nick, I need you to buy materials so we can make this. That way, I don't have to waste time on Saturday doing it. And so I Venmoed him like $200 to just buy whatever, and he comes back and he sends me back 100. I'm like, what did you buy? What did you buy, man? And so, like, all he got was like paint, some foam, and some super glue. And I'm like, that's $100. So we spent all of Saturday painstakingly like gluing together this like weirdly oval shape like tube basically, and hot gluing it together, spray painting it. This paint would not latch very easily onto the foam mats that we bought, and then we had to make like the little Korok mask, and then we had to film the video the next day because I was so tired after making the stupid thing. So the video was like 30 seconds long, and it was supposed to be this thing where like he sits down at his table, he looks outside, he sees a trash can. He walks outside to the trash can, and there's like some trash on the ground. He puts the trash in the trash can, and the Korok thing runs out after him. He runs back into his house, he's freaking out. It's gone. He sits down, puts the cup on the mug, and then it happens again, and it cuts. And I was watching it, and I'm like, this is just like too much, too long for what it is. And so I did a little experimental cut where I just used like the last like 8 seconds of the video or something. And I'm like, it's not bad. And so I'm like, Nick, you're gonna hate me because we just spent like 2 days and a shit ton of money trying to make this thing. The video is now 8 seconds long, and I think it's better. And that's my other video that has 1 million views on it. So clearly I made the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome too. Like, you can have just a few seconds of something that you may think you're going to use a lot of, and it can be more impactful than if you had.
I know.
Yeah. So what was that?
I frequently will just like cut out like needless bits. A lot of time I find myself watching stuff on YouTube Haiku where people will like make their sketches and like they have a joke they're going for, but there's a lot of like stuff that is just like, so like there's this one video where someone comes up to a guy and says, hey, check this out outside, and the sequence is supposed to just go outside, but they filmed like this interlude where like they get up and then they start like, well, why? He's like, why are you filming this? Like, just go outside. I understand. So a lot of times I'll just end up just sacking a bunch of stuff like that,
Yeah, it's difficult. I feel like it's more difficult a lot of times to make a video more. What's the word I'm thinking of? I do it with papers too. I forget the word. Not compact, but it'll come to me later. Mm-hmm. But more like shorter. Cutting things out.
Oh yeah. And then you have that self-doubt where you go, is this actually funny? Should I do this? Because you can't go back. Once you upload the video, it's done. You can't do the same joke twice. Yeah. It really sucks when you upload a video and people say, hey, I thought I was going to do this, and it's like a funnier joke, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could just do that instead now, but you missed it.
When you get more because I only have I think 360 subs right now, which I didn't even think I'd get to that.
300 people, dude. That's more than you can fit in your bathroom probably.
Oh, absolutely. But I uploaded a video the other day, and I'm just like, and I totally took it down, and real? I did. I totally did. And I shouldn't do that with all that subs, but man, but yeah, anyway, I'm going off track, but yeah.
Well, here's the thing, all your videos are your portfolio. If someone watches a really good video of yours, they're probably going to go through your other stuff. And you listen, okay, if I was like, going to be putting on a facade of like I'm super wholesome or something, I would say, dude, just go with it. Just, that's you, unadulterated, whatever. But honestly, use your discretion. If the video is not good and you don't want people to watch it, then just maybe wait. See, this is what I do. I'm a sneaky guy. I wait a couple weeks and then I unlist it. That way people can't go, hey, you removed the video.
That's
yeah.
I feel like you need that perspective too a lot. You need like to walk away for a bit and then just be like, come back to it. Like you always need a few weeks. I think for me, it's like, I thought that was hilarious when I made it. But, yeah.
And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you upload a video and it kind of flops and you're like, oh, why did I think this is funny? And then I go back to it. I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. You're just wrong.
The simple are wrong.
Yeah, there's no objectivity or there's no subjectivity to humor. It's all objective and it's my objective.
Exactly. But yeah, and then like, so for, and I know, like you said, I'm having a stroke. Please send help. Please call 911. I'm not joking. No, so with like the Zelda video you had just mentioned, the Korok video.
Yes.
It reminded me of another video that you had done. I think it was like the GameCube video or the GameCube meme.
Oh yes.
So like, what do you think?
Dude, this meme is dead.
What?
Like, it's dead, deceased. No one gives a shit about it. You didn't make any more of these, did you?
No.
What? Dude, are we in a dead meme?
And I always wondered when I saw that, I was like, I wonder how long that took to set up, because was it very choreographed, or do you do that with a lot of your videos? Or
so I would actually probably had the biggest span on filming it. And honestly, if any video was gonna get better as it gets older, it's that one, because the joke is like dead memes, and so as they become more relevant. But so I don't remember. That one is very old, so it's kind of hard to remember the exact brain process. But I know that the GameCube meme was kind of dead, and it was still getting posted by some people. And I know Bongo Cat had kind of just died recently, and so I wanted to make a video where it's just like a guy's making some memes in real life, and they're like, dude, like, what are you doing? Stop. And then there's like another one. So I went to Office Depot and I bought a bunch of cardboard and some paper and stuff, and I was like, I can make a GameCube logo. It's just like a little hexagon thing. That took a very long time. That took probably several hours of me like reshaping it and being like, what the hell is going on? How do I make this freaking hexagon?
wow.
And then there's like the whole like rig of like, I have to have a string that drops the cube into the thing. And in the actual video, the cube breaks off the string, and my dad was filming that one for me, and we just went with it, and it was the best take. But so back to that crazy editing technique I do, where I switch the stuff real quickly. That video ends by going from the GameCube meme over to this other guy who's holding a bongo cat, basically in real life. And my brother has a white cat, but he does not live nearby, so I had to like film. I think I filmed his bit first, like one weekend, and I just got like the cut of me turning over to him with the cat and everything, and then I filmed the GameCube thing when I had actually had all the supplies. And
so those are just separate like shots kind of roll into one there.
Yeah. So that was really important that the planning on that one was good, because I couldn't go back and refilm my brother once he left, So I was very pleased that was one of my favorite ones, honestly.
Yeah. That's I was just like thinking like everything kind of lined up so well. I'm just like, oh my God, like you must have to do like a million takes of this. Like,
yes, well, there were a lot of takes. Can you hear my AC? Is that coming through right now?
No, you're good. Dude, my squeaky chair is gonna be the star of the show. When I'm editing this, I'm gonna be like, Evan, you stop fucking moving, please.
So anyway, tell me about your early childhood.
Like, oh yeah, rocking psychiatrist there.
That's basically what this is you're giving me therapy right now.
Yeah. So, David, your videos stem from a obvious.
Yes, your father at an early age must have left you, and
it's getting warm in here. My computer's killing itself. But anyway, so I guess that brings me to my final question.
Let's get it. What you got?
I'm trying to remember the line from No Country for Old Men.
Oh God,
What was it? When he's Javier Bardem, he's like,
nailing it.
what the fuck did he say? He's like, he didn't say choose a society. He's like, oh man, I never mind.
Yeah, the coin toss with the wife or whatever,
Yeah, with the guy, he's like,
or the guy at the gas station.
yeah, I can't do the bit anymore because I fucked.
Sick bit dog, you killed it with that shit, my dude.
God damn it. No, but my last question was like, what are your thoughts on? I guess we totally just talked about this the whole entire video between the, my notes, my noted questions. But what the hell? What is your thought of like the state of entertainment in YouTube? Because I mean, I feel like it's weird. We kind of, in regards to media today, it feels like television is kind of in a weird dying phase, and YouTube, and we have YouTube and TikTok and all these different things. And what are your thoughts on like entertainment today, how that's changing, kind of YouTube? Do you think like that, what do you think is going to happen with that, just in general?
Yeah, so I think YouTube's probably going to be around for the long haul. I can't see anyone just kind of coming in and usurping exactly what YouTube does. TikTok just came out. Well, Dave, you heard this new thing called TikTok. Yeah, so TikTok's is surprisingly managed to jump to the forefront of video kind of posting stuff. But when I was starting doing videos, I knew that I didn't want to just keep it to one thing. And so TikTok wasn't a thing back then, but TikTok was formerly known as Musical.ly. And I actually made some probably very cringy ass Musical.ly videos. Surprisingly, I had more followers on Musical.ly than I did at YouTube at one point, because one of my videos got featured on Musical.ly, meaning like when you open the app, they would sometimes take creators and put them on there as like your first thing. Mm-hmm. And that video got like 300,000 views at a time where my most viewed video was like, I don't know, like maybe 40,000 or something. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I'm a Musical.ly guy now. Which, thank God I didn't do that, because just that's awful. But I think like you said, more and more people are just loading up YouTube to watch their stuff. I haven't had cable for forever, so I can't even see like Comedy Central stuff that isn't on their YouTube channel. I think that there's always a new wave of like creators that are showing up that are kind of getting promoted and stuff, and more and more people our age are kind of moving to that instead. That being said, TikTok can burn, dude, because I see some videos on TikTok. The thing I hate about TikTok is it normalizes ripping off people's videos and just doing the same joke without any kind of cred, which murders me. I uploaded all my videos to TikTok because some guy just did my video. He did the Beat Saber video, and I'm like, So I only got like 8,000 followers from everything, because it's really hit or miss if something takes off. My videos are apparently too violent for TikTok, because a lot of them get community guideline removed or whatever. And, it's like you can't shoot a guy without someone getting upset.
Wow.
But the worst thing about TikTok, it does a lot of good for small creators. If you're nobody, you can just upload a thing and there's a good chance it just blows up, because that's how its algorithm works. But there's this like culture, I guess, on TikTok that is so absolutely toxic that I hate having to read. And I know it's all jokes, and if you act like it's serious, then you become the next target for the joke. But I don't know, it's pretty rough out there in those Wild West,
Yeah, I feel like TikTok it's weird because it's so different than like what you'd see on Haiku or on YouTube. It's just the culture.
For me, when I watch any TikToks, if I watch one and I go, oh, dude, that is actually really funny, I always stop and go, is this your joke? Is this even like, are you just like, I don't want to give you cred because I don't know if you're even the guy that's like, Yeah.
That's when I first started using TikTok. That was it for me too. Like I hit a video, I'm like, this is really funny and clever. And then I'd see someone do it again. And
exact
I'm
same thing.
Like, you son of a bitch. I thought you were funny. But yeah. All right. Well, I think that about covers. I mean, dude, I could talk to you all day because I rarely ever, meet
Get to talk about these kind of things. Yeah.
yeah, that are as enthusiastic as I am about just making videos and stuff. Like I'll make stuff with my friends, and they'll oblige and they'll be like, yeah, we'll do it, and then but you can tell they're just like they're along for the ride.
No, I feel you. There's a million. We could just pick one thing about like the criticism of Reddit, and that could just be like a 10-hour long thing, But I'm starting to talk a little more in person to some of the people that I see online. Sometimes it's just through text channels and everything, but there's a cool little community there, and it'd be cool if there were a way to kind of help each other out, but at the same time, I don't want to like sacrifice quality just because no child left behind. I guess I'll just throw this in real quick at the end. I have not done like any collabs with people in the past, not necessarily because I'm super against the idea of collabs, but you really got to justify. There's some strict filming restrictions that you have when you film from different locations. You're basically just cutting to different shots,
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just feels kind of like, hey, look, it's me and the other guy that you guys know, as opposed to, hey, it's a really good joke.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have like the best of, you got to make it work. Like, I've seen like it can work or it can't. Like I've seen YouTubers, they do collabs and, the video is funny and it, does well. But yeah, sometimes it's, if you just have two different people, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to, like land exactly.
Yeah, but you just want to make sure that a joke landing is your goal, and the goal is not just the collab. Because I feel like some people that want to collab often are just like, hey, dude, we got to collab, because we're both popular or something, or, and it's like, okay, but you have a good joke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally feel that. But no, I agree with like the supportive community. Like, I mean, it's interesting. It's kind of like a silent YouTube haiku is kind of like a silent community in a way. It's like, it's like a comedy club, I guess, is the best way to put it. It's like, although it's very different.
Yeah.
But it has that kind of like vibe of like we're all kind of have the same goal,
More or less, people are aware of everyone's existence, even if we're not in direct communication.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to talk about all this stuff. I hope I didn't say anything bad that's going to get clipped 10 years from now.
No, it's all just that stuff you said about how you love Roseanne Barr and
Your racist stuff. Yeah, well, it had to be said, I think.
You know what? I agree. Well, yeah, no, thank you very much. And I guess the ending, if you want to plug it, this is Hot Ones, if you want to just plug anything, plug anything
going on right now, yeah.
Tom's your end.
Got my YouTube channel, got my check my TikTok out. I'm pumping the greatest stuff on there. I think my last video was like a year ago.
Superstar David Elliott on YouTube. Yeah, thank you again for coming, and it was great to have you. And this has been I don't have a good outro. This has been. Hope to have you again sometime.